Hi, my name is Lynette Batista, and this is my project, ATO, Project Second Class Citizenship. This project came about because my informant, Jesus Batista, was invited to participate in a bill that is on the floor for the Congress and Senate to consider. This bill comes about because of the role that the United States plays in the citizenship status of Puerto Rico. The bill is asking the United States, the Senate, and the Congress to support a plebiscite that will determine whether Puerto Rico stays the world's oldest colony, whether it becomes a state, one of the states, or whether it becomes an independent country from the United States. There are two main issues. One is the othered citizenship according to location, and the other is the privilege to make decisions on behalf of others, and I will explain more later. This is the timeline. The event lasted 3 days, but the informant was able to stay for 2. And so these are the events that the informant participated in. Here is the informant wearing a pink tie. And these are some of the pictures from the first event. Here are some of the pictures of the second event, especially here with the former governor of Puerto Rico and one of the veterans and another veteran expressing their gratitude for support. Second day, again, visiting senators and congress people and just participating. And then here is the governor of Puerto Rico in the blue tie holding a press conference, just expressing how important it is to support this bill. And here is the governor of Puerto Rico in the meet and greet, and the former governor of Puerto Rico just announcing that Chuck Schumer had supported the bill. Now, I will pause for a quick minute to talk about some of the surprising elements. For me, there were many surprising elements. One of the biggest surprising elements was the dichotomy between what is current and what is the stance for what is the current situation of Puerto Rico and what the United States stands for. This is important to me because that's where the two main issues come about. When we talk about an othered citizenship, we're talking about a citizenship that changes because of location. So in the United States, as a born Puerto Rican, I have certain rights and a voice that will be heard. If I move locations to 009, which is the zip code of San Juan, then my rights have changed. And so that's why it's called a second-class citizenship, because it's a citizenship that according to location changes. And then the second component of it is the citizens who live in Puerto Rico basically have to beg us who live here to please raise our voice on behalf of them. And that to me is one of my biggest takeaways from this experience, because until you're not sitting at that table and you're not feeling this feeling, this experience, you don't really understand what it is to feel second-class citizen, right? Because I've lived most of my life in the United States. So when you hear these veterans talk about, oh, I lived in the United States, but now I want to live my last days in Puerto Rico, but I feel like I'm being cheated because I can't even vote for my commander in chief. I mean, these are people who serve. These are people who are organized. These are people who are very loyal, and they feel cheated, and you all of a sudden you feel that feeling, right? And so things that I found that were similar and different were the groups, again, military men, veterans, very organized. They have their pins, they have their hats. They all lived in the United States at a certain point. They were bilingual, very well spoken. The relationship between race, class, and gender were very I feel like, especially in gender, we're very marked. Like there were only one woman veteran and one woman senator. Um, so it was a very much male dominated environment. Um, Class also was notable in the sense that you have very high ranking government officials from Puerto Rico just walking along with just like regular folks and veterans. And also like the funds, right? Also very notable because you need to have funds in order to make this kind of trip, because it's somewhat costly. My personal feelings during the interactions were mixed. With the group itself, I felt very welcomed. I felt like I was able to fit in. They were very nice, explaining some things that I didn't understand because I'm not a veteran. Um, but also felt very uncomfortable with the way the group was treated, the way I felt like I was treated, right? Even though I don't have their issues, right? Um, I mean, we had like college interns and uh, met in the hallway, even though these meetings were set 2 months in advance. It's just disrespectful, I thought. Um, Engagement, I think, was very successful. Again, I think I made connections and I got involved. The group dynamics, I think people were very respectful, I think almost to a fault, because I think they were trying to just really make themselves heard in such a way that I think they were just being way too nice. Um, Things that surprised me was again the commitment of these men who are older, walking. I mean, I think one day I clocked 12,000 steps, but yet there they are committed. The lack of consideration from those in power, the lack of knowledge of those in power. Um, Debunking cultural myths. I think for me, it was that, it's very open to constituents. I didn't feel that way. The connection to the course, I think the two that come to mind are understanding white privilege and white rage, especially because white rage talks about how John Crow laws seem contradicting to U.S. claims of democracy, and that is how I felt in this particular instance. And that's about it. Thank you.